My name is Olajuwon Desmond. I'm a native of I'm from Oyo State, Nigeria, and I'm a visually impaired person. I have a first degree in accounting and another degree in political science from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. My impairment started at about roughly 13 years ago. It was the year I graduated for my first degree in Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I graduated with a first class degree in accounting, and I also combined it with being a professional basketballer. I was playing professional basketball for Ghana national team, and I was the point guard. The whole impairment started during a competition I represented Ghana at about November 2012 in DR Congo when we went for an Afro basketball championship. It was during that competition I suffered an injury to my eyes when an opponent, fortunately I was playing against Nigeria then at the semi-final stage. An opponent, when I was trying to make a basket, poked his two fingers deep into my two eyes, and I was bleeding profusely. And unfortunately for me, even after I was rushed for an emergency treatment and went through surgery subsequently, it turned out that I ruptured my optic nerve. And even after the surgery, I was still seeing. I was seeing. It was when I returned back home to celebrate Christmas with my family that same year, I found out that I eventually lost my sight. When I woke up on the 25th and I found that I couldn't see anymore, I felt so bad. It was like, even up to date, the lowest point of my life. Having all my dreams, aspirations, and ambition crumble at my feet within a matter of minutes. And I was just looking up to the heavens for a way out. Even after 2 weeks, it still never dawned on me that I've lost my sight. I was crying, feeling so dejected, feeling so down and out, and looking for just one thing that will bring me back to my normal self. As if it was not the end of my woes. A month after my loss of sight, my mom took me to Lagos, Nigeria, out of shame of having a blind child. She took me down to Nigeria to stay with her stepsister, only for me to be treated like an outcast and be locked up, fed like, I'm less of a human, and I took it upon myself one day to like step out of the room just to feel my surrounding, only for me to sleep, and I fell down from the stairs, through which I landed with the back of my head, and I suffered a partial amnesia. I was practically abandoned by my mom's stepsister in a neuropsychiatric hospital at Yaba, Lagos. At this point, everything around me was just darkness, sufferness, depression. But one thing I was continuously clinging on was the only trace of light in my life, which is Christ. Because I believe with Him, all things are possible. What gave me strength despite all that was happening was I have the hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I believed that this cannot continue this way. Even while I was going through rehabilitation in the neuropsychiatric hospital, I completely forgot my name. I had a loss of memory. But even with that, I never lost my mind. Yes, the memory might be gone for a while, but the mind, I was still determined that this is not where I'm supposed to be. So I felt this urge that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Because he who is down fears no fall. And at that point, I was at the lowest point of my life, where I couldn't have even feared any other thing else. So the only choice for me is to believe that things will be better for me. So the physical things I can boast of today started with a divine encounter I had with God on the 30th of October 2013, when from nowhere I started regaining my lost memory while I was going through rehabilitation. From there, I was, checked over and over again medically, and I was declared okay, through which I was discharged from the psychiatric hospital. And from then, I had nowhere to go. My mom's sister threw me out, and I had no choice but to enroll myself and in a vocational training center for the blind at Oshodi, Lagos. It was through that blind school that I learned how to read and write in Braille, learned different vocational skills and handcraft, like liquid soap and tablet soap making, the production of different insecticides, and also things we use at home, like Isa, Dettol, hair fresheners, and so on and so forth. I also learned how to operate the computer perfectly. At least I mastered the Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and all that comes with it. After then, I enrolled for my JAMB, which is Joint Admission Matriculation Board Examination, through which I gained admission to study political science in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. At this point, I had no one to sponsor me to pay my school fee, but I believe that with God, I can do all things. So I gained admission under the merit list, and I was doing different things to survive in school, to pay my school fee, to get handouts, to buy this and buy that, to feed myself. I was engaged in, I was living in the school hostel, through which I engaged in different business like production of liquid soap and selling it to students around, because I know this liquid soap are things that we students use on a daily basis. I also produce ISAs, I sell recharge cards and even mobile data for Android users and all that. I also engage in tutorials for secondary school students aspiring to gain admission into the university, through which I charge them tokens in exchange of the knowledge I'm passing to them. And these are more what I do, on a large scale to survive in school. The event that led to me being born again was, in fact, till date, still regards to me as the first and the best ever divine encounter I've ever had with God. While I was explaining my story earlier, I made mention of the 30th of October 2013, while I was in the neuropsychiatric hospital, Yaba, Lagos. I was down and out, like I was sinking into the bottomless abyss, like having no way out. But from nowhere, I kept hearing this voice. At first, it was not clear to me what I was hearing. But before I knew what was going, it was also like the entire world was like turning on itself, like turning around. And medically, it will take me at least 2 years to recollect my lost memory. And just 10 months after, I started remembering, hearing voices, my mom's voice, crying, calling my name, different events that happened in the past, seeing different things, blurry images. And it got to a point I was screaming and holding my head. And after about 30 minutes, I heard this voice telling me, like, it's just a sentence, and it entirely changed my life. And the sentence was, you are a reborn person. You are a reborn person. You are a reborn. It got to a point I was repeating this particular statement for about 30 to 35 times. I'm a reborn person. I'm a reborn person. Where is this voice coming from? Even after the whole encounter, I was asking people around me then, please, is there anyone saying this subconsciously to me? That, you're a reborn person. Because I can't remember, ever like having such encounter in the past. Then it dawned on me that it was a call for salvation. After recollecting my memory, I deemed it fit to, first and foremost, give my life to Christ, then accept the Lord as my personal Lord and Savior, through which I promise wholeheartedly that I will honor Him to the best of my ability. Because, at the moment where family, friends, loved ones rejected me, He brought me out, from the depth of, despair, and gave me a new life. After giving my life to Christ, I also deem it fit to also, use myself to preach to people. that it is not only when we need God that we will pray or ask things from God. Even when we have all hope are lost, even when it looks like it is not possible, we should have it at the back of our mind that God, the God that is above all gods, can salvage or can rescue us from the devil. You know, when I think about life without Christ, you know, I think about a man without a soul. Because, you know, before I became a born again, I was living a life of ignorance. I was living a life of, let me just wake up the next day, you know, living a life of, oh, let me just wake up and, but after giving my life to Christ, I begin to cherish every moment in it. The only thing we can do is to live the best of what we can live and represent Christ to the best of our ability, and also appreciate Him for the favor and the mercy He's granting us to us that we cannot even pay back in 100 lives to come. I just want to thank the Lord Almighty for His mercies, for His goodness, for His grace upon my life. You know, He has brought me this far, right from the moment I lost my sight to every other challenges, you know, tribulations I've been through in the past. He never left me for a moment. For giving me a wonderful family that I can look back and, you know, I can only appreciate all His unmerited favor He has bestowed upon me and my family. I also want to thank Him for His salvation upon me and my family, for His unlimited care, love, for the fact that He has been protecting me and my family. Now going out and coming in all our activities, may His name be highly exalted. And to everyone going through one challenge or the other out there, either blind, deaf, crippled, or going through one venereal disease or the other, either cancer, or either having issues with your blood, with any form of disease, I want you to remember that depression will not solve things. Cry a river and build a bridge. The only thing that can turn your situation around is having an absolute faith in Christ Jesus. You shouldn't have faith for the sake of having faith, but have faith even when you feel nothing is working out. Even when you feel you have prayed to the point of being tired, just keep having that faith, because the God we serve is the God of all gods. Is the God that does what no man can do. And to you out there that is looking for one thing to motivate you, I want you to know today that the God that we serve is the God that do not want His people to suffer. So why not believe in Him? Why not surrender yourself to Him? Why not just put everything in His care and look at what will happen next? As for me, I am a living testimony He brought me out of my most despair moments. He gave me a new life. And I believe if you take a leaf from my story, He will surely give you a new life. And you will have abundant testimony. Thank you very much.
You want to give your life to Christ? Please write follow in the comment section. We will surely reach out to you. And if you want to support Mr. Olajuwon, write support in the comment section. We will surely reach out to you. Till we see you next time, stay blessed. Shalom.